Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving deep into the life of Oprah Winfrey today. You guys wanted more than just the surface level, and believe me, there's a lot to uncover.
Definitely. I think when we talk about Oprah, everyone knows about her resilience, her empathy,
hmm
but it's so interesting to think about how those qualities went on to have such a global impact.
Right. Like her story is so much more than just a story. It's kind of mind blowing when you realize how one person's journey can impact so many others. So, where do we even begin? I have to admit, learning about her name, like how she got the name Oprah, kind of blew my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't actually born with that name.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was Orpah, right?
Yeah, or Pup.
Orpah, after that biblical figure. And, you could just picture people mispronouncing it, kind of stuck, and then, bam, this globally recognized brand was born, almost by accident. It makes you wonder, what if everyone had gotten it right from day one? Would things have turned out differently?
It's so true. Like, what's in a name, right? It really makes you think about identity. But even with a name that resonated, her early life, it was rough.
It was. Oprah's childhood was marked by, well, there's no other way to put it, poverty, instability. There was even abuse. It's just such a stark contrast to the Oprah we know today.
Yeah.
And when you think about that, it really highlights her incredible inner strength.
I can't even imagine trying to overcome those kinds of obstacles. Yet, even in that darkness, she found solace. That strength, it came from her grandmother, and also from a really unexpected place, her love of reading.
Oh, absolutely. It's that classic tale of finding light in the darkness.
Mhm.
And when you really think about it, that love of reading for stories, it was planting the seeds for her future career. Even back then, she understood the power of language, the power of connecting with other people through shared experiences.
And those are essential skills for communication. But getting to be a media powerhouse, it wasn't a straight shot for her, was it? Before the Oprah Winfrey Show, she actually got fired from a recording job because she was, quote unquote, too emotionally invested.
Too emotionally invested. Can you imagine being told that your empathy, your ability to connect with people on a deeper level is a weakness? I mean, talk about irony, right? That very thing they considered a weakness, it ended up being what made her so successful.
That's a powerful lesson right there. What we sometimes see as flaws can actually be our greatest strength.
It really is amazing when you see how much her authenticity resonated with people. When AM Chicago became the Oprah Winfrey Show, it wasn't just a change in name. It was about that genuine empathy she brought to every conversation. It was real, and people felt it.
Totally. And those interviews, right? We mentioned Michael Jackson, Nelson Mandela, even Barack Obama. She really has sat down with everybody. What was it about her style that made people, even those huge figures, open up like that?
It's vulnerability. She understood the power of it. Oprah wasn't afraid to share her own experiences, her own struggles. And by doing that, she made it okay for others to do the same. So forget just asking questions.
hmm
Her interviews, they were like shared journeys. You felt like you were discovering something together.
You really did. It was more than entertainment. You felt part of something bigger, something real. And it wasn't just with celebrities that you saw that impact. Her generosity, I mean, both on screen and off, it's legendary. Giving those cars away to her entire audience, her work with Oprah's Angel Network, she doesn't just talk the talk.
Oh, for sure. And the amount of money Oprah's Angel Network has raised for all sorts of causes, it's incredible. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And then there's the school she built for girls in South Africa. It all goes back to this core belief she has.
Yeah.
Education is everything. It's how we empower people.
Breaking down barriers, creating opportunity. She's so passionate about it. And talk about breaking barriers, we got to talk about the Oprah effect. The woman single-handedly made reading cool again. You know what I mean?
Totally. It was like she breathed new life into the whole publishing world. I mean, book clubs are everywhere now, right?
Yeah.
But she was doing it way before it was trendy.
Yeah.
And she picked the books that everyone ended up talking about. But it wasn't just about selling books. It was about giving a voice to people who weren't being heard, getting people to look at the world a little differently.
It's true. She made literature like actually engaging, and all of a sudden millions of people are excited about reading again. But it wasn't all smooth sailing, right? I mean, there were a few bumps along the road. The whole thing with James Frey and his book, that was a big one.
Yeah, the James Frey thing, that definitely stands out.
Mm.
When she realized he'd made up parts of his memoir, she didn't try to hide it. She brought him on the show, confronted him about it, and then she used that whole situation to talk about how important honesty is, especially when you're telling your story.
Right, which would have been so easy to just back down from, try to ignore it. But she owned it. She made a mistake, and she admitted it. And she used that as a chance to teach everyone a lesson. That's pretty brave if you ask me.
It's true, and that's something I've always admired about her. That willingness to say, hey, I messed up. She's never pretended to have all the answers, which I think is why people connect with her so strongly.
Absolutely. It's that authenticity, that realness that just resonates. And her influence, it goes way beyond TV. Think about it, film, books, philanthropy. She's a true force in media.
It's amazing, right? She helped start Oxygen. Her magazine, O, is iconic. She launched her own whole network, OWN. Did you know she was even nominated for an Oscar?
No way, really.
Yeah, for The Color Purple. She acts, too. It's like, is there anything she hasn't done?
It's incredible. It shows you what you can do if you believe in yourself, you know? She took control of her story and then used that to help other people lift up their own voices. Yeah, and she's never been afraid to speak out against injustice. Whether it was about race, gender, whatever, Oprah used her platform to fight for what's right.
Exactly. And that's what makes her more than just a celebrity, right? She's an icon. Oprah Winfrey is living proof that you can make a difference if you're brave enough to use your voice.
So inspiring. I mean, you think about where she started in Mississippi and then to become this global phenomenon. Resilience, empathy, the power of storytelling. It's all there in her story.
Yeah, it really is. And I think more than anything, Oprah's story reminds us that everyone has a story, something unique to share.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the takeaway? It's more than just entertainment, you know? It makes you think, what kind of mark do I want to leave on the world? What stories will I tell? Will I use my voice to lift others up? Big questions, right? Something to think about.
Absolutely. Because just like Oprah, each of us has the power to make a difference.